Okay, let's talk about concealer. So if you've noticed, I have done my foundation before my concealer. I always grew up doing my concealer first and then my foundation. And now that I've gotten older and I've learned from professionals, that is not the way to go. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do concealer today. So we're going to talk about the tools that you use for concealer. We're going to talk about the look that you're going for. We're going to talk about picking your perfect color, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it and where to put it. So some tools that I like to use for concealer. So this is a foundation brush. I showed you this one in the foundation video, but I actually love this one for concealer. It is perfect right here, like it fits perfect right there in the corner of your eye. So I really love this to help me do a highlight under my eye. It helps me get in small nooks and crannies. So this is actually a concealer brush. And with this one, I'm going to show you how you can take these. And then I actually use my finger with this one, with this brush as well. So I'm going to show you some different things that you can do with this little small concealer brush. Another one, so I actually use this one with a dark concealer, so you can see that's why mine looks dark right now. But this is a fantastic brush to use if you want to. You can like use this to swirl. So I'm not going to because I have a dark concealer on it, but you can use it to really diffuse and buff concealer under your eyes. It's fantastic for that. So I'm going to show you these other ones. So the look we're going for, so you can use concealers for two different reasons. You can use it as a highlighter or you can use it to conceal. So a lot of times I will suggest a color correcting concealer for people and a highlighting concealer, two different concealer colors. If you need to cover up like some redness or some dark spots, you might want a yellow base. So let's talk about color while I'm talking about this yellow based one. You might want to use a yellow base concealer to kind of neutralize redness or like sunspots. I have a sunspot right here that I can really neutralize with a yellow concealer. And then the highlighting and color correcting. So color correcting, it sounds exactly like what it should. You're wanting to fix any kind of color, any kind of discoloration on your face. So you're going to want your color correcting concealer to be a super close match to your foundation or to your skin color where you're using it. And then the highlighting concealer, you're going to want that just a shade or two lighter than your foundation. Don't do bright white. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is people will put a super bright concealer right here under their eyes and they get flashback. So flashback is when you take a photo and you see this bright white right here under their eyes. That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. And I really hate it when I see that. And I would love to like help people out with that. So now I'm going to show you how I use these tools that we have. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. So I'm going to start with the highlighting concealer. So I'm going to use a little bit brighter of one than I would normally use here because I want you to be able to see where I'm using it because that's the important part. So I'm sorry, you might see me look at my mirror that's right back behind so I can see exactly what I'm doing here. So you can see I started in this corner and I pulled it out in a triangle right here under my eye. You're not going to see me just go in this semicircle. So this one's a little bit bright for what I would do daily. But like I said, I wanted you to be able to see where I was putting it. So I'm going to gently just kind of blend all that in with my finger. Okay? So that's using a highlighting one. All right, so using a color correcting one. Color correcting one is going to be one that's closer to my skin color. So I have redness right here. So I literally just kind of paint that on with this tool. That's it. Just kind of paint it in areas just very lightly. And if you need to go back and blend it with your fingertip, like this concealer loves to be warmed up because it's a thick concealer. It has, like I talked about in our foundation video, it has a lot of pigment in it. So a very little bit goes a long way, but it likes to be warmed up. So using your fingers, rub your fingers together to kind of warm them up with that friction before you use this concealer, and it helps it spread out. So using a small concealer like this. So you can take this small concealer and you can do the same thing that we just did. Pulling this color out, Okay, so that gets a little bit less product actually. It looks super bright in there. But then I do the same thing. So I promise you I wouldn't normally wear it this bright. So just spread that out like that. So something that's super important, I feel like I'm saying super a lot, but something that's important is to take this concealer. So I can take a little bit on my hands, rub it together on my fingers, and then I'm gonna place this on my eyelids. While I have my concealer out, I'm gonna place it on my eyelids. This one's waterproof, so it's gonna act like an eyelid primer for my eyeshadows. So I'm going to use one of these brightening ones on my eyelids to give me something for my eyeshadow to stick to, and it's going to really hold the eyeshadows and make them pop. So just blending all this in, and that's it. Super simple. You can also take one of your brightening ones, and you can go right here between your eyes. So this is more of a highlighting. Okay. I can show you with a concealing one. Right here, this spot on my eye that I can kind of build that up a little bit. Just the most important thing is to start with a small amount and then build up. But concealer is one of the easiest things. When it's used in the word of contouring, in the act of contouring, it kind of freaks people out and scares people because that highlighting is just kind of a scary thing. But if you just think about it, you're using it right here under your eyes. I like to take some, and I will do some right here down my nose. Now, right there, it's very, very stark, but I can just kind of blend the sides like that, and the top of the bridge of my nose. Like, see, it gives me some definition on my nose. You can do a little bit right here at the top of your lip, and a little bit right here on your chin. And that just gives you some, you don't want your face to look flat. Like, you want it to have areas that stand out and areas that kind of are withdrawn. And that's what you're going to use your highlighting concealer or using a shadowing bronzer to give you some definition to your skin. So this is the best way I like to use concealer. It's super simple, easy places to use it in highlighting and in actually color correcting. So it's real use, but now we can use it to do color correcting, highlighting, which is awesome. So if you have questions about your colors, please reach out to me. I'll certainly be happy to help you pick out some perfect highlighting colors. And if you're still confused about where to use them, reach out to me about that as well. And I would love to help. All right.